So I've been to Chicago one time in my life.
Mhm.
I don't remember that much about it because I was very centralized to a convention I was at.
Yeah,
But I saw from your picture, it looked like it was really good weather.
it was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
A little crisp, but not super cold.
I like it that way.
Bright sky.
Yeah.
Really nice.
So I saw a picture of the bean. Were you down by the?
Got to go see the bean.
That's awesome.
Got to take a picture of the bean.
So I'm Derek with Into Music. You may or may not know me. I know you know this guy.
What's up, everybody?
This is Eric Baker. And Eric and I have known each other in many different arenas, but currently UTPB,
That's right.
West Texas Symphony,
Yes, sir.
and some little thing he's got going, Trumpets on Fire.
Yeah. That's real. That's about what it is most of the time.
By the way, I did enjoy the last one about the cutoffs. That's
Everybody loves it because it's relatable. We've all been there. We've all been there.
And nobody says it out loud all the time.
No,
But
I'm breaking down barriers, Derek. This trumpet ego, I'm crushing it right now.
Trumpets mic'd up. If you haven't seen it,
That's right.
several viral
Yeah.
happened already. And I'm teasing you now, also known as the tequila out the sunroof guy. But
You might not recognize me without my horse head on. You know, I look better with the mask on.
forgot.
Yeah.
And I saw the highest form of flattery. I saw so many imitators
Oh
after
yeah.
that.
I need to be. Let me clear the air. I didn't invent that, but I think I did help popularize it a little bit this season.
But I'll say it this way. I'll say it this way.
Oh,
I saw you do it first
okay.
this year.
That's all that matters.
And then I saw it a bunch more times after that.
Uh-huh.
Sleigh Ride.
Yeah.
Watch it. Find it. Look it up.
Find it. Look it up.
Okay. So, Eric, we were talking about Chicago. Eric went to Chicago for us. He's a Bach artist and is a studio.
Yeah.
Is that the artist studio? Is that where that is?
That's right. So they have their artist studio right there on the Magnificent Mile in downtown Chicago. It's beautiful. So I was able to go there, and then they've got a huge selection of course, the finest Bach trumpets you can find. And my job and my joy was to hand select a few for you guys to sell.
All right. We asked Eric to go and listen. I can't say anything bad about any of the instruments.
No,
But I said, Eric,
Yeah,
find the jewels, find the good ones, at least out of the batch that you were
that's right.
able to go through. And so you did.
We did.
And
Dozens to choose from.
dozens.
Yeah, it was a
So
lot.
I had to follow that.
I had dozens to choose
You're
from.
safe. So wait a minute.
I didn't make you pay for dozens of trumpets, Derek. It's okay. I had dozens, and these are fantastic.
Okay.
All the good stuff.
So listen, maybe a little bit subjective.
Yeah, subjective.
Your criteria is
Playability. So when I pick up a trumpet, I want to get the maximum sound for the minimal amount of work.
right.
And going in for this one, I was really thinking about students that may be purchasing maybe their first professional level instrument.
First big.
What's going to be good for them? And so I tried to have a range of models here because different students prefer different sounds or colors. But what I liked about all of these was very easy to play.
Okay.
The high range doesn't get stuffy. It doesn't tighten up on you. The low range is in tune. These are things that, especially students who are really developing maximum range and repertoire need to have readily available, right at their fingertips.
So I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions. Then throw a Harry Potter reference at you. Sometimes the wand chooses you.
That's right.
And so we do have some selections, but let's talk. We've got a lot of 190 instruments on that's. Can you give us a brief difference between 190 and 180?
Sure. So the 190 is the newest generation. And some things are a little bit new with the instruments. Some things are a little bit older. So one of the things that they do have now is a two-piece valve block.
The chassis, yeah.
And that's kind of a hearkening back to, I believe, some of the New York and Elkhart, Mount Vernon days, which I just like the response and the clarity that you get. The valve block is where so much of the mass of the trumpet is.
Sure.
And so when you've got it centered and you're playing through, something about that two-piece valve block really sparkles.
Right, and it's a physics thing. It just rings. Yeah.
That's right. And so I think they've really done a lot of research to find what was working really well with old models. What now does the technology tell us is a little bit better? And so we've got this beautiful hybrid of old and new together, and they just play beautifully.
Awesome. So when we say 190 and 180, forever and ever and ever, almost everybody, at least in West Texas.
Yeah.
But I think statewide, maybe even nationwide, was on a 180 S37. 180 was the model. S means silver, 37 is the bell.
That's right.
So this is a 190, and it has the new technology that he's talking about. So it's still a 190. This one happens to be an S37. So it's the 190 generation or iteration of the trumpet. I do think you got a 43 on the table.
Yeah. So we
Tell me why.
got a couple of 37s, a couple of 43s, one in silver here, a couple in silver. We got a lacquer 37 as well. I prefer a 43. And you said
That's the bell.
yeah. So that's going to be a slightly different taper to the bell and then the flare. And these 43s on the 190 are actually a little bigger. So this is about a 5-inch bell diameter, so a little bigger than a 37. And that just adds different characteristics. For me, the sound is a little bit more centered, but on a 37, it's a little brighter and quicker response. Every player, you can find what you like in a trumpet. But I play the 43, so I wanted to make sure that there were a few options for students maybe that like that sound and that feel. But the 37 is pretty standard.
And I'm going to say this carefully but bluntly because that's my nature.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a wrong bell.
There's not a wrong bell. No, it's what you like to play.
And it's the sound that
It's the sound that you're going to, and a lot of it sometimes has to do with what style of music are you playing? Are you in an orchestra? Are you in a mariachi ensemble? Are you lead in a jazz band? Which kind of brings me
you get the X?
to, where's the X? Yeah. One of these is their X model, and it has
This
a
one?
slightly smaller bore. That's the one I picked up earlier. There it is. Yeah, so this is a 37, but they call it their X model, and it has a medium plus bore. Many of us are used to a medium large bore.
Large, yeah.
This is actually slightly smaller, and this thing,
56, I think.
it lights up the room.
Wow.
And you can just play it, and immediately you can feel the brilliance. If you were lead playing or some kind of a solo where maybe you were out front of a jazz band and you need a little bit extra zing without a ton of work, this could be.
One of the things they say about it, it's all the benefits of the medium large and the medium light and a lightweight horn.
Yeah.
So cool.
So really a very interesting horn. I'd never played it before, but I immediately fell in love with it there at the studio.
And if I was guessing, I would guess that there's a lot of studio stuff happening in California.
Absolutely.
And the movie soundtracks and that kind of stuff using that kind of stuff.
And those guys want the most efficient trumpet they can get.
Exactly. Talk to us real quick about lacquer and silver. You know, when I was a kid, when I got my first one, everybody had to have silver. That meant it was good.
Yeah.
As I grew, I was like, you know what? I actually like the lacquer.
Yeah.
And a lot of people like raw.
Yeah.
Especially more in the jazz world, more in the contemporary world. Would you suggest one or the other to, again, everybody, I don't know why, middle school, high school, we associate lacquer with our student.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's not.
No. So there are a couple of reasons. I think the silver plating, especially if it's good silver plate like Bach puts on their trumpets, it is pretty durable. It's going to last a long time. Sometimes lacquer can rub off with heat or sweat or just some of the oils in your hands. My body chemistry is a little weird. My hands eat through silver plate real fast. And I'm constantly wiping it down. And I think sometimes I'm wiping off the oils, but I'm still wiping into the
It's shoving it in.
So for me, lacquer is better for long-term finish because my hands eat through silver plate. And so again, just in the interest of a variety of options for our students in West Texas, I got some lacquer.
But I've also heard lacquer might be brighter, silver might be darker.
You know, I don't have the research on that. I don't know. I think oftentimes those things can be true, especially if you talk about jazz players like that raw brass. It might not be quite as brilliant. They want more of a mellow sound.
Yeah.
For me, finding the right bell shape, that 37 or 43, and then dialing in your mouthpiece can give you a lot of options.
And I'm going to harken back. I've watched him do a master class. And one of the things you're talking about scales.
Yeah.
If you hate just the, quarter note, eighth note, so put on the jazz and play your scale over the right key. But the point being, make it fun.
Make it fun.
You're still learning.
Yes.
I think it's kind of the same thing that we tend to practice more when we find a horn that feels good.
Absolutely.
That we enjoy playing.
Yeah.
That we say, I'm making music.
That's right.
So one last thing that I was going to throw at you about these, I'll leave it be. I think you've explained that more than adequately. So we've got 190 43 or 190 37. I think the lacquer is actually a 37. I could be wrong.
37.
We've got 190S 37s, 190S 43. We've got the 190 37X, which is the kind of the contemporary thing. all handpicked, all played through, all I don't want to say approved sounds so weird, but
Yeah, no,
you enjoyed them.
I liked them.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that stuck out to me. These are all the horns I would play if I could just snap my fingers.
So at TMEA, they're in booth 823. That's the Intune booth. I believe you're going to be hanging out in the UTPB booth.
Yeah,
Tom?
I'll be there.
So if you want to talk about UTPB and the possibilities of, man, that program is just going. It is
Going. It's going.
there are times that I think to myself, man, I hope y'all are ready because it just seems to be snowballing, right?
Yeah.
And in a good way.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you.
Hey, always my pleasure, Derek.
Enjoy your TMEA.
I will.
You guys enjoy yours.
See you guys.